See, folks, let me ask you this. What's your legacy going to be? What's your legacy going to be? Number one, I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be my own boss. I talked to my grandbabies. I got some down here. I got my 2 great-grandbabies down here, 2 out of my 5 great-grandbabies. And I think that's what everybody wants, is to be their own boss. Number 2, I wanted to be totally financially independent, total financial freedom. Number 3, I wanted to work at something I was passionate about. I can't imagine. When I coached for 7 years, I loved it every day. Every day. I loved it. I got up and I was excited about going to work. When I went with A.L. Williams, for 20 years, I was excited every day. Every day. I loved it. I just loved it. And last, number 4, I wanted a great quality of life. I wanted a great quality of life. I wanted to enjoy my family. I wanted to enjoy my business. I wanted to have it all. I wanted to have it all. See, the dream we're selling at A.L. Williams is not running a base shop forever, not being a fanatic forever, not field training greenies 4 and 5 nights a week forever, not being on a treadmill forever. That's a dadgum nightmare. Our dream was for you to enjoy a great quality of life. Yes, go out and bust your butt in phase 1. You got to go out there and work like a fanatic. Field train those greenies 4 and 5 nights a week for a few years to launch this baby. To build a team, you've got to be a winner. It comes down to, folks, you got to be a winner. You got to lead by example. You got to prove that this thing is for real. People are not going to follow you if you're a dadgum pansy, if you're a dadgum loser. See, I don't believe in this crap that a lot of companies believe in, fake it until you make it. See, you don't need a big house, a big office, a big car, fancy $1,000 suits, Rolex watches. You don't need all that crap. Not if your opportunities for real, and A.L. Williams' opportunities for real. You need to keep your expenses low, your personal expenses and your business expenses. You need to live below your means until you become wealthy, financially independent. You live below your means. You got to prepare for crap to happen, because it's going to happen. Just get ready, and it's going to happen at the worst time. You know what your people need to see from you? They need to see you do it first. They need to see you become the #1 recruiter, the #1 field trainer. You be always excited, always busy. You show them how much money you've saved. You show them how much stock you own. You show them your goal of financial independence. I can't tell you the hundreds of part-time people I recruited, showed them my mutual fund savings account of $42,000. I can't tell you the hundreds and thousands of other people I recruited, showed them my plan of financial independence. You got to be a winner. Now, after all that, what's the secret? What's the secret? When A.L. Williams was born in 1977, our goals were impossible. To change the largest industry in the world, those 85 termites here in Atlanta, Georgia, is going to go out and attack the largest industry in the world and change the largest industry in the world. That's impossible. But we did it. We did it. In 1977, in 1977, 90% of all life insurance sold was trash value. In 1990, 90% of all life insurance sold was term, and A.L. Williams did that. A.L. Williams did that. You did that. In 1977, A.L. Williams was just a peanut, 85 people, one city, one state, with less than 12 years. We grew to 225,000 in every city, every state. That's impossible. That can't happen. That's impossible. But we did it. Hale Williams became the first $300 billion company in less than 12 years, and this industry was a 100-plus-year-old industry. That's impossible, but we did it. 2,000 companies in our industry. In the top 100 companies, 34 of those companies were A.L. Williams teams. We produced giants. That's impossible, but we did it. We produced more $100,000 earners, more millionaires, more financially independent families than anybody in our era. That's impossible, but we did it. What was the secret? Corporate America believed, this is it, folks. Corporate America believed that the special people were the smart people, were the fancy people, were the fancy degrees from the prestigious universities. A.L. Williams believed it's what's inside that's important. It's your heart. It's your heart. It's your will to win. It's your desire. It's your determination to be somebody. So the secret to A.L. Williams' success was not our concept. It was not our products. It was not our system. The secret was our people.
My folks didn't ever have any money. I had the greatest background in the world, but I grew up tough. You know, we greatest life in the world, but I never had all this stuff. And I didn't expect, when I came in here, honest to God, folks, I didn't think I could ever make big money. I didn't think a football coach from Cairo, Georgia, with a PE degree from Mississippi State could make big money. I never thought I could make big money. I never expected to make big money. And all I wanted was a company that was real, that gave me a real opportunity. And I probably wasn't good enough. I probably wasn't tough enough. I probably wasn't smart enough to really make it big, to make big money and do some incredible things. But all I wanted was a company to give me that chance. Give me the dadgum chance and let me go for it. And then when people spoke to me, I wanted them to tell me like it is. Tell me exactly how it is. Don't pull any punches. I don't expect it to be easy. I know it's going to be tough for an old football coach. Tell me how it is. Don't dance around. Don't blow a hot air up my butt. Tell me exactly how it is, because I'm going to do it. And don't you let me do it and then find out you lied to me. You screwed me. You used me. And that's pretty much corporate America. They don't give a living dog crap about the customer out there, about their employees. They screw you and lie to you and use you. The politicians, you can't hardly find an honest politician. They all are a bunch of crooks, or they're incompetent, or both. I mean, all of them. I want to mean half, all of them. Good people don't run for political office today. And I wanted somebody to tell it to me like it is. When we founded A.L. Williams, buddy, I vowed that we were going to tell it to you like it is. We were going to sell the absolute best thing you can sell to the consumer. We had every regulator in every state. This is almost unbelievable, Rusty, but when we were in Atlanta, Georgia together, we had people in Phoenix, Arizona, and San Francisco, and Boise, Idaho, and New York City. We weren't even there, and they were scared of us. They were already, before we even got there, they were bonding together to try to outlaw our term insurance products and replacement and all this kind of stuff. How did we do it? How did we go from one part-time person in 1967 in Columbus, Georgia, a football coach with a PE degree, in the largest industry in the world, to every state, every city, every town, become number one, be number 1 and 2 combined, produced more $100,000 earners, more millionaires than anybody in our era. How did we dadgum do it? So Jim, when I thought about tonight, I could not tell you how I think we did it, because that's what I just begged for when I gave up coaching and came. This was my life. And for me to give up coaching, all I ever wanted to do and come in this business full time, I wanted somebody to tell it to me like it was. Tell me the tough things, tell me the good things, lay it all out there, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to do exactly what you tell me it takes. Dadgummit, don't lie to me. How do we do this? I can't explain it. I dadgum can't explain it. I know this. It's not what we did. I thought for a long time it's what we did is the reason we made it big. I thought we were the right people at the right place at the right time. But you know what? We didn't invent term insurance. Every company had term insurance. We didn't invent mutual funds. We didn't invent part-timers. It wasn't what we did. That wasn't the real key. The real key is who we were. It's who we were. It was the kind of people we attracted. It was their toughness. It was their passion. It was their work ethic. It was their sacrifice. Our people wanted to be somebody so bad it was scary. It was ridiculous. You would think we were almost emotionally unstable. I mean, honestly, folks, it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous you coming up here 2 days early and spending your time and your money to come up here to spend a day and a half with Art Williams. That's ridiculous in most people's mind, but I know why you did it. I know why you did it, because you still got something left to do. You still got something left to do. And you wanted to come get in a small room with a guy that was going to flat tell you how it is. We wanted to correct an injustice so bad it was scary. We wanted to make a difference with our life so bad it was scary. See, I really, honestly, in my heart, believe it's not what we did that made AOE. It's not what we did. I think we could have sold refrigerators. I think we could have done a lot of things out there and still conquered the world. I really believe that, Jim. It's not what we did. It's who we were. Someone once said this, and I believe this. He said anybody that's ever been successful had a hero, had someone in their life. Many times it was in high school years where you influenced the most. But they had some hero. They had someone in their life who believed in them. See, if you want to do all you can do in this business, you've got to be a hero to your people. You've got to be a hero to your people. That's what Rusty Crossan was. He was a real hero to those people that knew it. And then you got to make your people feel special. I had one hero in my life, Coach Taylor. I started working with him in the 5th grade. I worked with him and played for him through college, 12 years. We had, right before he passed away, we had a Coach Taylor Day in that little town I grew up in, Cairo, Georgia. They named the track after him. We had a day of festivities. He had players. He was in that little town for 20 years. And we had players from all over the country that came back to hear their coach, to see their coach, because they knew he didn't have long to go. And after we celebrated that night, he got up to speak. And he handed out this little business card. And this was his coaching philosophy. I spent thousands, not hundreds, but I spent thousands of hours with Coach Taylor, my hero. I don't know why he picked me out, Mary. I don't know why he picked me out. But for some unbelievable reason, he picked me out. And he made me, in every way you want to measure a person, I'm average and ordinary. I was just an average athlete. I was average or below average in school. Every way you can measure somebody, I'm just pretty average. But Coach Taylor made me feel like I was going to conquer the world. He made me feel like I was going to do something important with my life. When I left Cairo, Georgia, I felt good about Art Williams. See, I believe every successful person in their life had somebody like Coach Taylor that made them feel special. And if you want to build something unbelievable like we did at A.O. Williams, and your people don't have that Coach Taylor, you need to be that Coach Taylor. You need to be that hero. You need to let that person know you care about them. You got to let that person know you believe in them. I don't care how bad they've been hurt. I don't care how they've had people put them down, make them feel like crap and all that kind of stuff. You got to find a way to look for the goodness in them. You got to find, see, I'm a believer that everybody has something good in them. And you win by finding that something good in them and then encouraging them. Help them believe in themselves one more time. They almost quit dreaming. They almost gave up. But all of a sudden they find you. You're their hero. And all of a sudden you give them hope. A.O. Williams was so much bigger than making money and selling insurance and selling investments. It gave me hope. That dream I had in high school, it was going downhill a little bit. But all of a sudden, this business gave me hope again. Coach Taylor made some remarks. We were all crying and carrying on. And he handed out this business card. And this was his business philosophy. Do what's right. Do your best. And treat others the way you want to be treated. You know, Coach Taylor was a winner. He was born in California, and the University of Florida offered him a track scholarship. He was a pole vaulter at the University of Florida. He was a fast softball pitcher. He won 2 world championships in softball. MVP, most valuable player, best softball pitcher in the world for 2 years in there. He coached track for 18 years at my high school in Cairo. He won 18 state championships. Not 1, not 2, not 6, but 18. Coach Taylor was so good and so talented and so tough. It was just unbelievable. And this was his philosophy. From the 5th grade on, folks, this is all I've lived. This was my philosophy. This was my core philosophy. This is the way I lived my life. This is the way I played for him in high school. This is the way I played in college. This is the way I coached. This is the way I built A.O. Williams. Do what's right. Do your best. And treat others the way you want to be treated. See, a major point. Most companies out there say, screw the consumer, screw the employees, make as much money and profits as you can, keep that stock price high. Not Coach Taylor. He said, do your best, do what's right, and treat others the way you want to be treated. One of the reasons A.O. Williams did it is we were built on doing what's right. We had a core principle of goodness. Did we screw you up? You betcha. Did we make a lot of mistakes? You betcha. But, buddy, our heart was in the right dadgum place. Do what's right. Prudential had a playbook, it's 137 pages. We had a playbook that was 1 page. I never sold anything but term insurance. I never sold a young single guy or gal that didn't need life insurance. 90+% of all of our RVP promotions in A.O. Williams were early. Not too early, just a little early. Because you never want to hold somebody back, and that guy found out you held him back. And then he says, you're low-life, scum-sucking dog. Ain't that right? In this business, relationships are everything. You got to believe in your people and they got to believe in you. You got to trust your people and they got to trust you. Well, I never made a sale on the first interview. Never made a sale on the first interview. All the great leaders have the ability to simplify the complicated. Isn't that an unbelievable philosophy Coach Taylor gave me to live by? Do what's right, do your best, and treat others the way you want to be treated. You apply that to your life, Jim, in business, I'm telling you, you got a head start on the world out there. We got a leader right here, the president of Old Edwards, Richard Delaney from London. He's the best in the business. It's unbelievable what he's doing with Old Edwards. You know what his core management philosophy is? Make raving fans. See, great leaders have ability to simplify the complicated. See, by making raving fans, that means you got to do it all right. You got to welcome people with a smile. You gotta be proud of the quality of your room and your restaurant and your food, and you just gotta do it right? And you make raving fans. Do you know 80% of everybody that comes to Old Edwards comes back to Old Edwards again? See, you gotta have a core philosophy that's right, and it's gotta be simple where you can apply it to your life. Why did we risk everything? Because we wanted no limits. See, unless you're somebody like you don't understand that. That don't mean a lot to people. They don't understand this no limit kind of thing, right? We wanted to create an where you couldn't ever not make more. We had no protected territory. You go anywhere you want to. Build it as big as you want to. To build your financial independence, where nobody could put their thumb on you and squeeze you. You know how important that is to this football coach from Cairo, Georgia? See, most people don't understand that. But if you ain't ever had financial independence and you think you got a shot, you think you got a way figured out to do it, this is your to put you and your family, maybe even for generations, to put you in a position where nobody can put their thumb on you, to where you can tell everybody to get screwed. Do you know how important that is to somebody like me? Well, why would we risk everything? Why would Rusty Crossan risk everything? Financial security, permanent job. Why would he risk everything? Because we wanted to have the right to fail if we weren't good enough. We couldn't live with ourselves if we didn't take a chance. We felt like this was our moment. You know Winston Churchill, my favorite all-time quote? He said, in everybody's life there comes a moment. This is your moment. And if you're good enough, if you're tough enough, if you're smart enough, and you recognize that moment, and you take advantage of it, that's your finest hour. We wanted, me and Rusty Crossan, and Jim and Bob and all these other wonderful players, we wanted to see if we were good enough. We felt like this was our moment. Now that don't mean a lot to most people out there that are not willing to lay it on the line and risk everything, right? But it meant a lot to us. We wanted to have a chance to fail if we weren't good enough. We wanted the freedom to go for it and see if we were good enough. That's why we risked it all. The real key that made A.L. Williams dominant and changed the largest industry in the world is A.L. Williams turned the business of insurance investment into a football game. All of a sudden, we found a way to make business fun. See, I know how to motivate. I'm a coach. I'm not an MBA from Harvard and Yale and that. I learned from Coach Taylor in Cairo, Georgia. I wouldn't trade that education for 50 Harvard degrees. You understand that? It was who we were. The kind of people we were. Now I know I get home tonight. And Angela's going to say, Art, you know, I can't believe it. You know, you're a madman. You get up there and you scream and you holler and you pound the podium. Why can't you just talk like a civilized human being, you know? You know why? You know why? Why? Because I'm a coach. I'm going to put your dadgum butt on the light poles out there, right? You want to win in this business, you better have the ability to get inside the heart of a man or a woman and put them on the dadgum light pole. If you're going to be around me, I'm going to energize your butt. You understand that? And I turned off a lot of people purposefully. You understand that? We didn't want no MBAs. We didn't want no people coming here dressed up in a three-piece suit. We didn't want no Harvard and Yale's. Right? See, I wanted to run their off quick. I got that learned that in coaching. See, I was going, if you want a uniform, I'd put a uniform on you, and I was going to get you out there on that practice field or that weight room, and I was going to challenge your butt. And if you didn't have the goodies, you wasn't going to quit on me on Friday night on a football game where we lose a dadgum game. I'm going to make you quit out there on the practice field, right? I'm going to make you quit in that weight room, right? Well, that's where it was at A.L. Williams. I was going to electrify your butt. And if I don't get you excited, if you don't feel good about this, don't let the door hit you in the ass. Ain't that right? And you know what, Nicole? You know what, Nicole? See, the women loved it more than the men. See, I used to give out these T-shirts, and it'd say, I am a stud. And I'd give it to a woman. And every now and then, I'd have some woman that would get offended by that. And I'd say, don't let the door hit your little You understand that? Because you know what? You know what? See, that woman would quit on us. That woman would quit on us, right? See, I'm going to challenge your Now, Judd, how you going to edit this thing? Huh? Okay. But ain't that right? Ain't that right? You want to go to work with somebody like me, or you want to go to work with some pansy? Right? What I'm looking for are warriors. If you're not a warrior, let's find out right now, and I'm going to kick your butt out of here. Ain't that right? I ain't going to spend my life screwing around with a bunch of dadgum pansies. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Okay, dadgummit, that's the way this is the way we had every meeting. Every meeting we ever had. This was it. Hey, this was it. This was A.L. Williams. Right? You know what? You know what? See, the wrong kind of people couldn't take it. They said, you got to be careful. I've had people get up in meetings like this and walk out when I started screaming and hollering. See, I scream and holler and pound the podium for a reason, to get rid of the pansies, to let you know this is something you can believe in. You don't have to be smart. You can be like Art. Right? Right. All I want is somebody that can still dream, that can still hope, that can still sacrifice, that can still work. And me and you together, we'll get after somebody's right? See, the A.L. Williams recruits, the kind of people we wanted to recruit, they didn't want to be insurance agents. These people we recruited, like Art Williams, a football coach, they didn't know if they could even sell something like a $100,000 insurance policy or a $200,000 investment. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know anybody would buy something like that from a football coach. See, I didn't know I could sell IRAs and mutual funds and that kind of crap. I was a football coach. See, A.O. Williams recruits didn't know if we could even understand all the different, every book written about insurance was this thick, complicated words. I couldn't even understand all that crowd. We thought only the Wall Street crowd could understand securities and investments and stocks and bonds and all that kind of crap. Our recruits couldn't understand that. They didn't know they could understand that. And the kind of people we recruited in A.L. Williams, they couldn't stand the thought of talking to strangers, calling a stranger on a cold telephone, knocking on a stranger's door. I've never done that in my life. Going in a stranger's home. That's nauseating. That's repulsive to people like me. But you know what?
What?
Almost everybody, almost every man and every woman in these United States is played on a team. They grew up playing on some kind of team. And they didn't understand insurance. They didn't understand investments. They didn't understand if they could sell. They didn't understand all that kind of crap. But when Art Williams stood up there and said, we're going to put a uniform on you, and you just go out there and hit anybody in the wrong color jerseys, instantly they got that. They said, if this thing is right, you give me something's right. And then you got an enemy out there that's screwing somebody. I can understand that. And you tell me to go punch their lights out? I like that. I don't want to be an insurance agent. I don't want to go in some stranger's home, but if you're telling me a Prudential agent's walking down the street and go knock his off, I can understand that, right? The A.L. Williams people could understand that. Hey, see, the A.L. Williams people could remember what it was like out there on Friday night at 8 o'clock at kickoff. All week you're getting ready. You're getting ready. You can hardly sleep. You're just getting all pumped up. And then it comes Friday. 5:30, you get to the locker room. The coaches start taping you up, putting your uniform on. It's 7 o'clock. You run out on the field. The band's playing. Your little girlfriend's up there in the stands. Man, you're about to explode out of your dadgum uniform, right? Man, you look down the field at those enemies in the wrong colored jerseys, right? And you just hate them. You want to get after their ain't that right?
Right.
You go back in the locker room and the coach says, let's go get them. And you charge out. You know what?
What?
See, the A.L. Williams people that we wanted, they wanted to see if they could roll the clock back 30 or 40 years. They wanted to see if they still had it. If they could still put a uniform on. If they could still suck it up. If they could still get after somebody. Now you know what?
What?
See all these prima donnas, these fancy degrees, these fancy talking people. They can't stand. They don't understand that. They don't understand that one bit. That don't even register with those people. They say, "What is that guy talking about?" That's just see. Don't let the door hit you. Ain't that right? But you know what? You know what? The people you could build a business with, they understand it. They get it. They get it. They want to join something like that. They want to hit somebody. They want to correct an injustice. That's the way we did it. That's the way we did it. See, almost everybody out there is bored with their job. They hate their boss. They hate their income. Almost everybody that we recruited, they didn't know about insurance and investment, but you know what they knew? When Prudential sold them a $15,000 whole life policy for $20 a month, and A.L. Williams came in there and replaced that with $150,000 for the same $20 a month, every A.L. Williams recruit knew what it was like to get screwed. See, the A.L. Williams recruits, they knew when 90% of all the life insurance agents owned $150,000 of term that they paid $20 a month for, but they sold me $150,000 of cash value for $200 a month. See, they knew when we pointed out to them how they had been screwed. And see, the people that we built A.L. Williams with, all 250,000 of them, they knew they'd been screwed. Or they knew somebody in their family probably, or a friend that had been screwed. See, they screwed my mama. Well, see, people like me that come from Cairo, Georgia, you don't mess with my mama. See, it was personal to me. I went out to them. I didn't even know. Hey, 3 months it took me to get my insurance license and securities license. Nobody ever told me at ITT how much money you made on a sale. Nobody. I was so passionate about this business, it was ridiculous. I went out and made my first sale to my assistant coach, Robert Kelly, and I replaced their $10,000 trash day deposit with a $100,000 turn and their $50 going into a teacher's credit union with $50 into a mutual fund. And I left that house. I was so pumped up. They were hugging me and kissing me and telling me how wonderful we were. I'd changed their life. I'd changed their dadgum life. If somebody done that to my daddy, my mama would have had it easier. And they were hugging me and kissing me, and my manager went with me on the first and only time, and he said, all right, let's go get a cup of coffee, and let's review everything. We reviewed all that and all that kind of stuff. After 4 months, he said, all right, let's figure out how much money you made. He said, you just made $324. Folks, that's the biggest paycheck I've ever made. I've had paychecks in the millions. Nothing ever equaled that $324. I used to run up and down that basketball court for 12 hours, for 3 hours and make $12. That's the kind of jobs I was used to. Selling Christmas trees 2 weeks before Christmas, freezing your butt off. We'd divide the money up, working 2 weeks, and we'd make $50, but that was enough to pay for Santa Claus, right? And you tell me I go in this house and take these people who had a bunch of dog crap and take the same money, not asking them to spend more money, take the same money they were spending and give them 8 to 10 times more value, change their whole life, and you're going to pay me $324? You've got to be kidding me. The next 2.5 years, I saved $42,000. More than my daddy saved by a bunch in 30 years of working. A.L. Williams changed my whole life. Every person in A.L. Williams, all 250,000 of us, we had been screwed. And we knew we'd been screwed. And we knew who was doing the screwing. And we were going after them. That's how we endured. It was emotional. It was a heart thing. You know what? What company talks like that? Who you know talks like that? I'll tell you 250,000 people that talk like that.
I also learned in those early days, to be a great company, you had to have an edge. You had to be different. You had to be better. See, the difference in being great and average and ordinary is this much. Folks, it's just almost too scary to talk about. See, you can do 99% of the things right and not do this much, and you're guaranteed to fail. But you can screw up every day like I did and do this much, and you're guaranteed to win. This much is a special kind of attitude, a special kind of mental toughness, a special kind of hunger and desire to be somebody. A.L. Williams was born with this much. When I made the decision to give up coaching and go full-time, that was the toughest decision of my life. I didn't like the idea of talking to strangers. I didn't like the idea of being known as a life insurance agent. I didn't like the idea of living on commissions where you don't sell, you don't eat. The pressure of that scared me to death. I didn't like the idea of waking up every day, going to an office where I was alone. That was scary to me. I didn't like the idea of people making me feel like I was begging them to let me come see them. That was nauseating to me. You see, I had confidence coaching football. Every day I had a warm, special place to go to work. I had my coaches, my school, my team waiting for me every day. Every day I had people cheering me on, my fans, the students, the parents, the community. Every day in coaching, I knew what I had to do to win. I had a system I believed in. I believed you learn best by doing it. I believed you practiced until you can't fail. I believed you outworked the enemy. My challenge was to duplicate that in business. February 10, 1977, A.L. Williams decided we were going to build a company like you build a football team. Those 85 people, all of them were coaches or they had played on a team. And A.L. Williams turned the business of life insurance into a game. You see, we didn't know anything about business. We didn't have any MBAs. We didn't have any professional salespeople. We didn't understand business plans, budgets, and spreadsheets. But those early A.L. Williams pioneers understood how to put a termite uniform on, and they understood how to hit anything in the wrong color dadgum jerseys. I want to talk to you tonight about the A.L. Williams I remember. We were a team. We were together. We cared about each other. We loved each other. We created a bubble around A.L. Williams that was so totally positive, where we would fight with you. We would protect you. There was a special kind of spirit at A.L. Williams. We didn't just like it, we loved it. We really believed when we were born that we were different, that we were special. We believed that one day we would change the thinking of the largest industry in the world. We really believed that one day we would destroy trash value life insurance. We believed that one day our leaders would be among the most successful people in American business. I think you saw that in spades a few minutes ago. We believed when we founded A.L. Williams that one day we would take our people to all the great places in the world. We believed to build a team, you had to be a competitor. To win big, you got to love to compete. You got to love the toughness. Coach Woody Hayes, the great coach at Ohio State, said, Coach Hayes said, I never saw anyone make a tackle with a smile on his face. See, competition is everything. To win, you got to have a scoreboard. If you don't have something to play for, you get bored. You get tired. You give up. February 10, 1977, A.L. Williams was just a peanut. 85 people in one city, in one state. But we looked at this big old industry, the largest industry in the world, and we said, who's number one? And we found out it was Prudential. We said, who's the most famous company out there? And it was Prudential. And we said, we're going after them. That's who we're going after. See, almost everybody said a football coach with a PE degree, building a big company, become financially independent, that's crazy. But see, you got to believe it before it becomes a reality. See, you got to believe that you can be an RVP. You got to really believe it before you can be an RVP. You got to really believe that you're worth $100,000 before you earn $100,000. You got to really believe that you're going to live to see the day where you're financially independent and you change the direction of your family for generations. You got to believe it in order to see it. When someone back in the 70s and 80s said A.L. Williams, man, that got your attention. A.L. Williams stood for something. When somebody said A.L. Williams, all those 250,000 agents out there, all those 2,000 companies, they immediately felt fear. They immediately felt intimidation. You see, they knew if they went out and screwed somebody with a cash value policy that we were out there. They didn't know where we were. They didn't know when we were going to show up. But they knew that someday, sometime, A.L. Williams was going to get there and it was going to be ugly. We wanted to destroy the competition. We wanted to destroy the competition. The harder they fought, the nastier they were, the better we liked it. We didn't like what we did, we loved it. We didn't like the fight, we loved it. We didn't like the controversy, we thrived on it. A.L. Williams believed when we open our doors that the key to building a successful business is building trusting relationships. You know what? Nobody has ever accomplished anything on their own. You know what, folks? If you've ever been successful at anything, somewhere in your life, somebody trusted you. Somebody believed in you. How do you get people to trust you? There are 5 rules. Number 1, you must always look for the good things in your people. Number 2, you can't let the losers and the negative people and the dishonest people and the unethical people make you lose faith in people. Number 3, you must show your people that you really care about them and their family and their dreams, really care. Number 4, you must love them and believe in them through good times and bad times. When Angela and I had our 2 babies, Art and April, and when they were growing up through those difficult teenage years, we'd sit them down and we'd tell Art and April, we'd say, now listen, y'all, I know you're going to screw up. I hope you're careful. I know you're going to make mistakes, but I want you to know a couple things. Number 1, I doubt you'll ever make as many mistakes as your mom and daddy made. And number 2, I want you to know there ain't nothing you will ever do in your life. It is impossible. You can't make a mistake. I don't care what it is that would cause us to love you less than we do right now. I want you to know, there is nothing you can ever do that you can't come home. You can't come home and your mama and daddy is going to be there to love you and fight for you. Number 5, you must believe that you're working to make them successful. Your people must believe that you're working to make them successful. Never that they think they're working for you to make more money, to win you a contest, to earn you a promotion. See, let me give you the answer to whether you're building great trusting relationships with your people. Take your licensing percent. See, A.O. Williams had a goal of getting 100% of our new recruits licensed. We were never that good, but we averaged 50%. Now, when you average 50%, that means some people are going to do 80 and 90%. Some people are going to do 10 and 20%. We average 50%. Folks, look at your licensing percentages. If it's anything less than 50%, you've got to get better. Let me give you another thing that will help you and your people to build trusting relationships. Mike Tuttle was a giant in A.O. Williams. Mike Tuttle never lost a personal sale. Can you comprehend that? Mike Tuttle never had a chargeback on a personal sale. Can you believe that? And Mike Tuttle did a TV program on Primerica Television. Folks, you are double dumb not to get a copy of that TV program and give it to every new recruit you have. It'll change your business and it'll change your life. Another key to A.O. Williams is A.O. Williams was built by risk takers. People that were willing to burn all their bridges, lay it all on the line, bet everything they have, no backup plan, no safety net. They were going to do it or not do it at A.O. Williams. My good friend Bob Buson was making $150,000 or $200,000 a year at Waddell and Reed, and he gave up the security of that income to help found A.O. Williams when the odds were 99% that we were going to fail. Bill Arunda, sitting right down here. Bill Arunda. Think about this, folks. Think about this. Bill Arunda, Waddell and Reed came down and offered him my job, RVP over the 5 southeastern states, 650 people licensed in insurance and securities. They guaranteed him $100,000 minimum a year, all his expenses paid. And the coach was going around telling everybody in A.O. Williams for the first couple of years that the odds are about like this of us surviving. I don't mean changing an industry. I don't mean beating Prudential. The odds are about like this of us surviving. And Bill Lorinda gave up a guaranteed $100,000 a year income, all expenses, 650 licensed people in 5 states, and moved his family for A.O. Williams to Dallas, Texas, and started over with nothing. Why? Why? Why, folks? Why? Why would those original people do such a thing? Take such a chance? My favorite all-time quote is from Winston Churchill. He said, there comes a special moment in everybody's life where if you recognize it and take advantage of it, that's your finest hour. Those original people thought that this was our moment, that this was our time. Those original people wanted to do something big. They wanted to do something important. They wanted to leave a legacy that would change their family for generations. Let me ask you this, people. Where would people like us go? Let me ask you this. Where would people like you go? Yes, we knew it was impossible. Yes, we knew the odds were 99% against us making it. But A.L. Williams gave us a chance. A.L. Williams gave us a chance. And all we wanted was a chance to see if we were good enough. That's why we did it. That's why we did it. That's why we laid it all on the line. Those original A.L. Williams people were big dreamers and big thinkers and big doers. Let me close with this, my last unwritten law. I don't promise you it's going to be easy. I heard John Addison say a while ago, we don't guarantee you nothing. I don't promise you it's going to be easy. I just promise you it's going to be worth it. See, most people almost get there. Most people almost have it going. Most people, almost as a way of life to most people. But the winners, they do it. What do? They do whatever it takes to get the job done. They do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to be somebody. We need leaders at Primerica that can do it. If you want to be an RVP, dadgummit, do it. If you want to be somebody, go do it. If you want to become financially independent, do it. I hear too much talk around A.O. Williams. We need people who can do it and then talk. I hear it. Everywhere I went in A.O. Williams, I heard people say, Art, you can count on me. Great. Just do it. Art, I'm going to be a sales leader in 30 days. Wonderful. Just do it. Art, I guarantee our Life Underwriters Association is going to run all you termite side of the business. Wonderful. Do it and then talk about it. Art, if I just had one good month, if I could just get the momentum going, I know I could make it big. Well, go do it. Art, if I could just sell my house, do it. But houses ain't selling. Do it anyway. Art, I'm not making any money. What I do, you just do it. Do what, Art? You do it and do it and do it. Art, when I get to be an RVP, can I quit doing it? Nope. Art, I guarantee I'm going to win this contest. Wonderful. Just do it. Art, I want to make it so bad I can taste it. What I do, you just do it. Art, I don't know if I can keep on keeping on. I'm really hurting. What I do, you just do it. Do what, Art? You do it and do it and do it. All my life, Art, I've wanted to be somebody important. Well, do it then. Art, I'm going to recruit 20 people this month. Wonderful. Just do it. Art, I'm going to save money so I don't ever have to go through this again. Great. Just do it. Art, I'm hurting. I'm really hurting. What I do, you just do it. Art, you don't understand. I was number one. I was Mr. Everything in my company. You don't mean I got to start off down there and do it, do you? Yep, you really got to do it. Art, what's the primary difference between the winners and losers at A.L. Williams? The winners do it. They do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they sit back and they talk about how great it is to have achieved something unique and how glad they are that they didn't quit like everybody else and how wonderful it is to be somebody they're proud of.